Charles Barkley, Sir Charles. Remember yesterday when I was talking about legendary people who would never make it if they were starting their career in 2023? I gave you guys a few examples. I think I mentioned Howard Stern, Eminem. Charles Barkley, he would be one of those people too. I have always had a lot of respect for Charles Barkley. Matter of fact, I just finished reading his latest biography just last week. I have always thought of Charles Barkley as being one of us. And when I say one of us, I mean that he doesn't always agree with the right. He doesn't always agree with the left. He's usually somewhere in the middle. I think that's how most of the country is, in the middle. We're moderates. Sometimes I agree with Charles Barkley. Sometimes I don't. He can make a case for mythical racism. Then he'll turn around and criticize modern NBA players for using mythical racism to promote a victim mentality. I often agree with his criticisms of the modern NBA. Charles Barkley, he came from an era where the NBA was filled with alphas, tough dudes. This dude is paid millions of dollars every year by TNT, and he openly admits on the air to falling asleep sometimes while watching modern NBA games. One thing about Charles Barkley, you don't ever have to guess what he's thinking. If it's on his mind, it is coming out of his facial orifice. I like that. I like people who speak their minds. I have always respected Charles Barkley because Charles Barkley is real. He's authentic. He's never ran away from controversy. He's never failed to own up to mistakes that he's made in the past. Now, I've been wondering over the last couple of days if he's going to own up to the mistakes that he made this past weekend, but after seeing these follow-up clips, I highly doubt it. Over the weekend, Charles Barkley was in Lake Tahoe to participate in some celebrity golf tournament. He somehow managed to not finish in last place. Charles Barkley, he is notoriously a shitty golfer, but his swing has improved a little bit over the years. He was able to defeat something in this tournament called The Miz. My inside sources tell me the gender of this thing called The Miz is currently unknown. We don't know if it's the Mrs. or the Mr. Travis Kelce, he was also at this tournament. Perhaps he linked up with Charles Barkley to give him some business advice. Kelce Travis, he is one of the celebrities who have been supportive of Bud Light during these dark times in their business. Even with Kelce publicly endorsing shit fuckery, sales of Bud Light have continued their massive decline. Maybe he linked up with Charles Barkley asking for some assistance. Hey, Charlie, it's me, Kelce. I need some help. I'm trying to revive Bud Light, but so far I've been a huge embarrassing failure. Maybe you can come out publicly and say a few good words about the drag queen of beers. Saturday night, Charlie made an appearance at the Shaggin' Dragon in Lake Tahoe. He walked to the bar asking if they had any specials. As it turns out, the special for Saturday evening was a double shot of Don's Hard Lemonade, courtesy of Donnie and his Lemons. After consuming 4 glasses of Donnie's specialty, Charlie Barkley got on stage to address the crowd. He was drunk and he was angry. Well, Casey, was he pissed off because the marriage between Bud Light and Dylan Mulvaney eliminated thousands of jobs that were held by normal people? No. Charles Barkley was mad at you. It's not Bud Light's fault that people are boycotting their beer. It's not Bud Light's fault that people are losing their jobs. No. According to Charles Barkley, there's only one group to blame for this shit fire. Normal people. Charles Barkley got on stage and he immediately began making demands. He claimed to have 3 cases of Bud Light. Now, my inside sources tell me they were given to Charles Barkley for free by owners of the bar because they've been shitting on the shelf for so long they're about to expire. Charlie demanded that everyone in the bar not only drink this Bud Light, he also demanded that they pay for it. Now, I want you to notice the hypocrisy here because Charles Barkley, he's not drinking Bud Light himself. He doesn't want to pay for shitty beer. He wants you to pay for bad beer. Watch for yourself.
I want y'all to drink this fucking beer. I want y'all to drink this fucking beer. I got 3 cases of Bud Light. Hey, and I want to say this. If you're gay, bless you. If you're transgender, bless you. And if you have a problem with that, fuck you.
I've been following this boycott of Bud Light since it started in early April. I can't remember one time over the last 3 or 4 months where normal people have expressed an issue with the LGBT. Now, there have been criticisms of Dylan Mulvaney, but that doesn't mean normal people have a problem with the T's. Matter of fact, almost 100% of the criticism and outrage has been directed towards Bud Light. So I'm confused as to who Charles Barkley's talking to here. Who? Fuck who? Who has a problem with the G's and LGBT? I don't remember any outrage when Rob and Bob were spotted holding hands. I don't remember any outrage when Tim shared with the world his desires to become Kim. When I first saw this clip over the weekend, I wrote this off as Charles Barkley being drunk. He was in Lake Tahoe. He was having a good time at the Shaggin' Dragon. He allowed Kelsey Travis to convince him to get involved in this Bud Light disaster. Maybe he woke up the next morning nursing a hangover, soothed the pain with a double dose of Prep H, and regretted what he had said the night before. Unfortunately, that is not the case. 24 hours later, Sunday night, Charles Barkley put his money where his mouth is. Instead of receiving complimentary cases of Bud Light and making extra money on the side by selling it to birthing persons at the Shaggin' Dragon, Charles Barkley actually purchased the Bud Light for the entire bar. For the first time in 3 months, this bar actually received currency in exchange for Bud Light. I'm sure this gesture brought the emotions out of Bud Light CEO Brendan Whitworth. Oh, it is so nice to have public support. The next time I see Charlie Barkley, I owe him a passionate woke hug. Charles Barkley got on stage wearing a nice purple shirt. Now, to most normal people, they think nothing of this purple shirt, but this has very deep meaning. You see, every color in the rainbow stands for something. For example, if you see someone wearing yellow, that means their gender doesn't exist within the cisgender binary. Well, can they have kids? I would assume so. I mean, if men can get pregnant, I'm sure it's possible for anyone. The color white, it represents people with all or many genders. So I guess white represents everyone? The color purple represents people with mixed genders. It also stands for community. Oh, community. I love me some community. Charlie wore his purple shirt to show support for the community. Judging by the tirade he unleashed, I'm assuming there's one community that he doesn't support. Watch for yourself.
So, I'm gonna buy some drinks for y'all, and I'm gonna buy Bud Light. Hey, and let me tell you something. All you rednecks or assholes who don't want to drink Bud Light, fuck y'all. Hey, y'all can't cancel me. Hey, I ain't worried about getting canceled. Because let me tell you something, if y'all fire me and give me all that money, I'm going to be playing golf every fucking day. So listen, as I said last night, if you're gay, God bless you. If you're trans, God bless you. And if you have a problem with them, fuck you.
Why is he so angry? Where's all this bitterness coming from? I have never considered Charles Barkley to be a card-carrying member of Woke United Methodists, but if he's been baptized and born again over the weekend, it sure didn't take long for the bitterness to come out. I am sure Charles Barkley thinks that he's helping out Bud Light here. I'm sure he thinks with his influence he's helping to save the brand, but the hard truth is, Charles Barkley ain't doing Bud Light any favors. Remember what happened the last time someone associated with Bud Light insulted their consumers? Remember what happened last time Bud Light insulted normal people? What was that lady's name? Alyssa Heine? She accused consumers of Bud Light of being frat boys. She claimed that the brand needed to appeal to a more elegant consumer. You know, because there's so much elegance involved in shotgunning beers at a frat party. The boycott of Bud Light, it was losing a little bit of steam by mid-April. Then that interview with Alyssa Heine was released and it added fuel to the fire. Charles Barkley's doing the same thing. He is making things exponentially worse. This story's been in the news cycle for the past 3 or 4 days. Thing is, Charles Barkley is completely missing the point here. He thinks people are boycotting Bud Light because they have a problem with Dylan Mulvaney. He thinks people are boycotting Bud Light because they have an issue with the identifiers. Like I have said countless times over the last 3 or 4 months, this boycott has absolutely nothing to do with people who are transgender. The reason normal people are boycotting Bud Light, it's because normal people are tired of woke corporations shoving their ideology in our face. There is nothing political about drinking beer. The shitfucks in the mainstream media, they tried this same tactic with Target. They claimed the Target boycott was an attack on the LGBT community, but the Target boycott was an attack on Target. They were placing rainbow displays in the front of the store, which were explicitly designed to capture the attention of children. They weren't designed to capture my attention. Most men, we don't notice. The other day, we had to go to Books A Million to get a book for the kids' summer reading assignment. It's me, my girlfriend, and her daughter. I walk in the store, walk straight to the shelves, looking for the book. There was a gigantic Pride display located right by the front door. You think I noticed it when I walked in? No. Guess who did? Her daughter. Soccer mom Sheila. She doesn't want to be forced into a situation where she has to explain to her 9-year-old son why someone with a beard is modeling a tuck-friendly bathing suit. The 9-year-old, he should be reading Cat in the Hat. He shouldn't be reading King Kong with the removed dong. Charles Barkley claimed that he's not worried about being canceled. 3 years ago, I would have said, no shit. It's easy to sleep at night when you're preaching the good word and aligning yourself with Woke United Methodist. But it is completely different today. Normal people are using the tactic of cancellation against the shitfucks. Now, I don't want to see Charles Barkley canceled. I don't like seeing anyone canceled over words. I think Charles Barkley is just misguided. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about here. Like I said, this boycott was not about Dylan Mulvaney. It was about Bud Light shoving ideology in the face of their consumers. Will this negatively affect Charles Barkley? You know, I really don't know. This dude has been immune to this type of stuff in the past. We've still got another 3 months before Inside the NBA's back on TNT. This will probably be forgotten by then, but hey, I could be wrong. What do you think? Will this negatively impact Charles Barkley? Do you think he's woke? Is he now a card-carrying member of Woke United Methodist, or do you think Charles Barkley's just misguided on this one situation? You let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.